of December. How you all doing? I'm here with my co-host Ors.
Good morning or good evening to all yous.
I hope the volume is good. If not, let me know in the comment section. We're going to adjust it. We don't have much time today. Ors will have to go play D&D in like 40 or 50 minutes. So I'll try to go through the news articles really quick. We were just talking about how in Norway they decided to cancel a beauty competition because last year a transgender woman was victorious, and it sparked very uncomfortable conversations about what is a woman, and people found it offensive, and so they decided to not host the beauty competition this year.
Yeah, well, I can understand why. There was a lot of controversy regarding the end result. Like when you put them side by side and you tried to use like just the objective lens, there was a lot of people that claimed that the overall result was actually more of an agenda push than a results push.
Hate, you have to use the word hate. It's
Oh, is that
yeah,
how they're
yeah, yeah.
painting it?
We need to use the
Not
word
not a
hate.
difference of opinion,
No,
just hate.
hate, bigotry. Yeah.
Ah, how easy it is to simplify things like that, eh?
Yeah. And so there's not going to be any more beauty competitions, and now there is no more hate. To be honest, though, there is something culturally about beauty competitions as well. Like the third wave feminism, in my opinion, has
hmm
traumatized an entire generation with concepts like the male gaze is evil. And so there were cases where students actually got into trouble for rating their female classmates, which is something that women do as well sometimes when they're out in town. Like I was there when it happened, and they're like,
Man,
yeah,
do people not remember hotornot.com? Like, come on.
yeah. And so they view, like if you say like, oh, how much is the? Oh, well, she's a 7. That they view this as an attack on her human rights, on her dignity, even if she's not there, right? So I was always wondering, like, how the fuck are beauty competitions still given a pass?
I don't know. How does anyone have a chance to objectively evaluate someone else just based on what they see, right? I guess they scream louder the more that they don't get the number they want.
Yeah, probably. I mean, at the end of the day, like they're pretending like you're judging the worth of a person, and no, you're just judging their dating value, basically. And the thing is, like, you go on Reddit and there's women forums, and they even call it low value men.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's
I've seen
like,
I've seen these threads, man. I've seen
yeah,
them.
and it's like, okay, I don't care. Like, let them talk. Who fucking cares? Because at the end of the day, it's the actions that matter, right? And if you're an
hmm
undateable person, like you're just going to experience that whether people say it or not.
Yeah, I mean, in any society, there's always a bell curve, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be outliers on each side of it. It's not personal. It's just statistics, baby.
All right. So moving on to something more interesting. Shit, I should bring this up, chat. I fucked up today. I just woke up and I realized, oh my god, this week is stupid. So I just came and I didn't even brought the websites. There are drones from Iran, or allegedly.
Drones
But
from Iran.
yeah. So
Where?
apparently there's like drones on New Jersey and New York. No one knows where they're
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from. The
Yeah, the
government
unknown big ones. There's one that just crashed recently as well.
did they while I was asleep.
Well, it was like a day and a half ago or something like that. That one of them, they 911 called that there was a large drone down somewhere in Jersey, I believe.
It's like Black Hawk Down, but the drone version. All
You'd
right,
be
hold on.
surprised how big some of these things are, man. They're like the small, like some of them are the size of small compact cars, like a smart car and so on.
I will bring the article. So let's see what the fuck is
All right. Well,
about.
while you're bringing that up, hey, what's up,
BBC,
Snake Dude for life? What's up, Solid Slug?
barely British company. Mystery.
Barely Britishly competent. Yeah.
Do you know how many times they trash talk their own nation? And I'm like, you're calling yourself the BBC, and all you're fucking talking about is being hate and vitriol towards the people that pay you rent. It's like, what the fuck? If this was like the free market and you wanted in Britain, like, there is no fucking way you'd have any ratings.
Hey, introspective is a luxury now, V. Didn't you know?
A spate of mysterious. Why do they call it a mothership though? Like,
I
who?
don't know. A
It's
mothership would imply that this thing is basically belching out these other drones.
yeah.
Either that, or maybe it's an AWACS or like a controller system or something that's
Do we
relaying all of
even
these other
have the
drones.
technology for a mothership? Because no one asked that, and I
Relay
was like,
drones? Yeah. The relay drones have existed for a long time. The Chinese use them all the time to make those impressive displays up in the sky. But
uh,
the mothership in this case would be the center drone that basically relatively locates all of the other drones around it.
okay, so it's not like in Homeworld where you have like this
No, no,
huge.
no. It's a buzzword, right? It's a
Oh,
buzzword to
okay,
put eyes on the page, right?
okay.
Like a real mothership would be capable of sending out these things autonomously, but they're likely more saying that this is the controller or the proxy ship that allows them to
I
branch
understand.
out from that location and control a small swarm, right?
So dozens of drones have been spotted across New Jersey in recent weeks, including near sensitive military location and close to President-elect's golf course.
Yeah.
A
I
U.S.
mean,
Congressman Jeff Van Drew claimed that he had heard from high sources that the flying objects were tied to Iran. Oh, so this is like one guy has heard, and therefore now they're from
yeah.
Iran. Because I was like, how the fuck did they know? Like, is it written on them? Do they have the Iranian flag?
Yeah, did they find Iranian parts? Was there like was the firmware sporting an Iranian signature from certain groups? Because like a lot of these like high level development groups all have keyword signatures and shit.
Does it upset Jewish people from the ground? Like, what exactly is it? And apparently
God
it's
damn
a
it, B.
no, seriously, right? Like, how did they know?
Yeah, I don't know. It to me, I mean, to me, it just sounds like Iran's the hot word. It's easy to hip check them right now. But you know, at the same time, it's not implausible. All right, we've seen that the Shahed drones are actually, you know, they're pretty capable enough that it's been giving Ukraine a hard time for a while now.
Mm.
So the idea of them making complex drones, it's a hell of a lot more plausible than them making a long range nuclear weapon, right?
Yeah, I mean, but
Right,
why
because like
though? Like,
we already have domestic technology that allows us to do micro drone swarms. It
yeah, but
wouldn't be
like,
difficult to scale that up.
wouldn't they just send them over Israel? Why over the United States? Anyway,
I don't know.
yeah, it's
Well, here's one thing for sure:
mm,
the amount of air detection and air defense per square mile in Israel slash Palestine, West Bank, etc., and all of that is way fucking higher. The amount of scrutiny is super high in that region compared to, say, mid-central United States, where it would cost an obscene amount of money to have that kind of a high-level detection grid over such a large,
that makes sense. Yeah.
a lot of room, right? So they could be going with the same reason why they floated balloons a while back. This could just be the escalation from the balloons. They
Mm,
were able to put one over pretty much anywhere they wanted to in the United States. So let's try an actual drone. Let's see how long it takes them to respond as if it
yeah.
was a threat.
So anyway, Jeff has high sources. Speaking to Fox News, the New Jersey Republic said that the drones were coming from an Iranian mothership in the Atlantic. The fuck?
Well, if there was a relay, they would need a powerful mid-range source, assuming they're using like a satellite connection for these things.
That
Because
mothership is
like,
off the east coast. Wait, okay. Why?
yeah,
If you know where it is, why not shoot it down? I'm a little bit confused. I think
it's
even Sleepy
complicated.
Joe would shoot it down.
Yeah, it's. I think they're talking about the ship. If the ship's outside of the EEZ, then it gets a little complicated, right?
Mm.
Then you need to kind of grandstand that shit for a little while.
Yeah, but it's the
Uh,
U.S. Who's going to do shit about it?
yeah, I mean, they could just literally
And
sink
and
it
they
with a
can say,
fucking
yeah, like okay, it's outside the thing, but like it's sending drones inside the thing, so therefore,
yeah, like a harpoon or whatever it is that they use in the U.S. You know, just they
yeah,
could just starscream that shit and just have it over and done with. So
pull it inside the thing.
yeah, and it's not like Iran is anyone's friend right now.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing. It's like, international politics. It's like, okay, so what you gotta do about it? What you
yeah,
gotta do
like
about it?
optics versus event. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for the U.S. not to do it. So honestly, I'm with you. If they knew where the ship was, they would have popped it like a fucking pinata by now.
Yeah, and they would just say it's like, look, it was outside the zone, but it was sending stuff in the zone. So that are from high sources. He added that the drones should be shot down. The Americans don't shoot stuff from the sky because it's like, oh, but if it's up, it will come down. In Eastern Europe, they just don't fucking care. In Eastern Europe, is like, all right, everyone take cover. We're going to shoot down some shit.
If it falls, it falls.
If
If
it
they die,
falls,
they
it falls.
die.
Yeah. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, said a spokesperson from the Pentagon. How did they know, though? Like, shouldn't they question the guy? It's like, alright, where's your sources from, boyo? Hey, who told you that shit? Who told you that shit? What is this?
Tariq in the chat is saying that they're like particle sniffers for dirty bombs, and it's I don't know, man. Particle sniffers that high in the air? I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, like, that would make sense, right? Like, if the U.S. government would suspect there's a dirty bomb and they're, like, releasing particle sniffers, they wouldn't tell the public, right?
True. That
Like,
definitely they wouldn't. I mean, when they were driving around the detector vehicles after 9/11, they didn't tell the public, and people that were on the side of the fucking street were getting basically blasted with radiation.
No, because no, but like, imagine what would do to the stock market. Imagine the panic, the hysteria. Yeah, I wouldn't tell the public.
Yeah.
And so another New Jersey lawmaker says, call for the drones to be shot down. I saw videos. I don't know if they're fake or not. It's had like a guy shooting at the drone, and again the Americans were panicking.
Oh no, that happens often. There's all sorts of
right?
events around the United States where, like, even the Walmart drones, they were having issues with certain residents going around basically shotgunning them the moment that they were seen.
Yeah, but these were like apparently so high in the air, and people on the social media were like, "Oh my god, the bullets! They go up, they will come down, it will kill someone." Didn't kill anyone. They took cover. Seriously, like in America, when someone fires a gun in the air, it's almost like he's firing artillery strikes, and it's going to like land into some place. And I'm like, you look at the Middle East, and they have a wedding, and it's like, and
they have a wedding, and suddenly, apparently, like, it would be enough, according to how the U.S. would react, that like thousands would die.
You know, because I get it, I get it, but like, why not live dangerously? Hurrah, a little bit, you know, just a little bit of spice up your life. I'm kidding. I'm Romanian. I don't use guns. I don't fucking know. But again, like the way the Americans are pretending, it's like an artillery shell was fired. It's like he's firing mortars into the air. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just what we've seen. Like at this point, it's conditioned media. Every time a gun fires off, it's always a tragedy, despite, you know.
Do you actually gun. Like if you actually get hit by a bullet, right? Like so it goes in the air, it loses its velocity, and then it starts descending, right? And it will get like a specific terminal velocity as it goes down. If it hits someone, is the injury really severe?
Yeah, it can be.
It can be. What is it? Because like it's also wind
like,
resistance.
I'll put it this way: if you have a ball, like if you have a what they call ball shot, like just a round point, the deformation will probably hurt like a bitch. You might get like skin breakage, but if you have a Spitzer point and that thing comes down at terminal velocity, like if it hits you in the back of the head's extremely soft. It can fucking kill you, dude.
So it needs to be like exactly in the precise point.
No, like a Spitzer point just changes things, right? It's much smaller. It maintains a lot of its own momentum as long as it doesn't deform when it's going in the air. Like the amount of resistance your clothing will give against that object is a lot lower. So there's a chance that you're going to get a much worse wound depending on the caliber of what's coming back down. Most of the time, though, like it's. The chances of someone getting hurt by it is actually pretty fucking low unless you're like shooting upwards directly in an urban area, a la 9mm ghetto stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess now I know. Don't shoot.
Yeah, it's the chances are low, but it's not zero.
And I think it's like if you shoot with a shotgun, it's higher, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, shotguns, if you stand, depending on the type of shot, you could stand 20 feet away from a shotgun and basically barely get anything.
It's like, well, if you drop a penny from the Empire State Building, you know.
Oh yeah, if you drop a penny from the Empire State Building, you can generate enough energy to kill someone. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that thing hits on the top of
Yeah,
someone's
but
head and
like
they don't
I
have a
know that
hat.
objects like reach a specific terminal velocity, and after that they stop accelerating. Like it's not going to catch
Yes.
fire like it's entering the stratosphere, right? So
Well, yeah. Well, terminal velocity is still terminal velocity, and then you think surface area versus resistance.
hmm. Yeah, and like a penny is going to be taken by the wind, right?
It can be.
Yeah. So I guess if you throw a penny from the Empire State Building during a sunny weather,
What was it debunked?
I don't know. I thought it was. I felt like they concluded that nothing would happen, but apparently you're saying that it will catch
Oh,
fire
really?
and be
All
like
right.
a comet.
Well, I mean, if it was MythBusted, I mean, I don't watch
Well, yeah, because it's
MythBusters.
no, because like theoretically, like in a vacuum, it would do damage, but then you realize that there's wind resistance. You realize that,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good point. Yeah, I mean, the penny is very small.
And I was thinking it's the same with the bullet. You know, it's like there's wind resistance, there's other things. But anyway, right, let's move on. So in a separate incident in New York City on Thursday, several drones were reported flying over a neighborhood in the Bronx, one of the 5 cities, the police official said. So yeah, like there's people shooting at them. There's an investigation going. Do you know what my Eastern European mindset is telling me about this?
What's up?
What news are they trying to distract us from? Like, what else is going on right now that it's in the news and they don't want people to see?
Yeah, that's a good point, considering that it doesn't sound like it's anything important at all.
They do this all the fucking time in Europe. Every single time. It's like when like if there's some fuck up that a politician did, a corruption scandal, you know, like anything like that, that they will put some random sensational news that doesn't affect anyone, so that everyone talks about it. And I saw
So wait,
Americans
what?
starting to catch up on it as well. It's like, okay, well, what else is going on now?
Yeah, I mean, do you have the story on hand that they're trying to push up, or what?
No, I don't know. I don't know. One of the things that I will talk about on my main channel, and this is something that does look like interesting.
All right.
The entire year, from the beginning, from January actually, Visa and Mastercard have been bombarding Japanese websites.
Yeah.
They've basically like there's a lot of interesting stuff going around. So in the beginning, they started with adult channels, right? All of them aren't with real people, so not like Pornhub, but with manga and anime.
Yep.
And they started deplatforming them. And the interesting way is the method through the deplatforming. Apparently, the companies, the websites, would get a notice from a Visa subsidiary, and it would be like, we found questionable content on your website. You have a couple of days to remove it, or we're pulling services. And also, do not make this email public. So there was like
Wow.
this, yeah, there was the secrecy involved. Like, do not make this public. Then it was like a very short time given, as if the websites were committing fraud or something. This was usually reserved for like, you know, not for a website that was doing the same thing for the last 5 or 10 years. And then there's no appeal, there's no negotiation, there's nothing. It's just like one-sided. If you don't, yeah, if you don't remove the adult content on your website, we're shutting you down. And
Yeah.
so there were like a lot of major websites, including like ones that were selling video games, ones that were selling anime. One
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like,
one of the largest ones, I think it was DL site, and that's
yep.
like, imagine if Steam, right? Like imagine if in the West Steam would have Visa and Mastercard pull away from them. Like it would be a massive cultural impact for us. And so I always said like this is not going to stick to pornography. They're going to escalate. And they did, and they started going after like female audio erotica, and now a dating website was taken down. And so the Japanese lawmakers are now taking this issue seriously because they're viewing it as a huge problem, since for them manga is not just one of the lucrative industries for the country, but
Oh,
it's also like the soft
multi-billion.
power. Yeah, multi-billion-dollar industry, but it's also like soft power, like they're projecting Japanese culture overseas. And they're viewing this as incredibly dangerous because you're having a credit card company unilaterally, without giving you any sorts of appeal or recourse, just telling you, yeah, we're going to stop funding your business.
Well, I mean, it's even worse than that. They're extorting it. if you want to continue using our major payment system, which you've definitely been locked into now since you're probably doing business online, you have to obey these new regulations that you didn't sign on to,
What's
right?
different?
Because
Yeah,
people don't have to sign a new agreement when they go through these new conditions that are being applied to them.
yeah,
They sign the original agreement.
and it's the very short amount of time that they give you to comply.
Yeah,
Right?
usually it's less than 3 months, which is for most retailers is a long fucking time.
Like imagine if
You
you're
know?
yeah, imagine if you're a company that does want to comply and you have like a backlog of tens of thousands of items.
Yeah, it's not enough time. Like you need more time than that.
And so there was this Japanese guy, I think it's like Mr. Yamato. He's a mangaka and he was elected in their version of parliament. Specifically to defend free speech, manga, and represent, the otaku in the Japanese parliament.
Yeah, basically the whole protoculture thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so he actually went to California now to visit his headquarters, and we're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And they told him it's like, "No, our company isn't doing that. Like, we don't know. It's probably third-party merchants that are responsible." And so they're playing a game of telephone to figure out like where is the censorship coming from, because like that's the thing, like they don't know which part of Visa is trying to censor. And so a couple of weeks ago, you have I think it was like the president of the Japanese branch of Visa, and he came out and he said it's like, yeah, sometimes we gotta ban stuff that makes our brand look bad because of global
The
regulations.
fuck?
But he doesn't actually say which global regulations. And he doesn't express it's like, okay, but like why were these websites allowed to function for 5 years and now there doesn't seem to be like any debate in any of the
Yeah, what's
countries.
this
There doesn't
vague
seem to be.
speak? That's some dangerous vague speak,
Yeah,
man. I
very
don't like
vague,
that.
right? And so it is concerning because there was like an Antifa guy from Germany. And he was like, "Oh, look! While the South Koreans are having a coup, the Japanese are distracting from the coup by talking about, their apparently, uh, they call it matter of national interest because like 40% of the world's third largest economy goes through Visa and Mastercard, and they're concerned
Uh-huh.
because they're looking at the bigger picture. It's like, okay, they're doing this with the fringe industry that no one cares about, but like what if they start expanding? What if they start banning the tourist sector? What if they start banning things that are violent? Like okay, they get rid of the not safe for work and now they're going after violence.
Yeah,
uh
how long does it take until the next thing runs
yeah, like
afoul of
when
their
exactly
target
when
there?
exactly do you think it's okay for us to step in? Like how long should we allow this to go before you think it's appropriate for us to get involved? And
Exactly.
so, yeah, and so I think that there are people supporting this. They're supporting this for moral reasons. But for those people, I wonder, like, what will you do when they go after the guns, right?
I don't
Because you're
know, man.
basic.
'Cause they tried in South Korea already, like
Yeah,
with a bunch of different video game companies, and so far they managed to reject it. But it's if they try enough shots on goal, they might get one or two pucks past the goalkeep, and they only need one or two to get the ball started. That's the
exactly.
thing that I'm afraid of.
Exactly. Like to me, the idea that Visa and Mastercard are moral companies and like the church is an insane position. Like you must be
Yeah,
mentally deficient to believe that.
yeah. And
I
Tomcat45 in the chat is bringing up something really important right now. PayPal isn't a bank account. Never think it's a bank.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
super good important in
It's true.
part. Yeah. These
Um,
guys don't have your best interest in mind. A bank at least typically has your best interest in mind.
and so the thing that I see it is more like them testing the waters. Like, let's see how much we can get away with. Let's see how many people support us. Let's see what the backlash is when it happens. And I think like they're just going to keep doing this to Japan until there's some pushback against it.
Yeah.
Because take into account, it's only Japan right now. Like OnlyFans isn't affected, Hollywood isn't affected, Disney isn't affected, neither is Netflix. It's just Japanese and it's just their cultural industry, right?
Just
Um,
one thing. One thing. Let me backtrack to something I said. I shouldn't say banks have the best interest in mind. At least they're insured, right? If
hmm.
you have an advisor, they're supposed to work in your best interest.
The thing with PayPal, there was a lot of scandal over artists
Yeah.
Like especially furry artists, I remember. And they had the problem because like they were getting money in their account, and all of a sudden like their account would be terminated, and the money would be still in the
Hmm.
account, and they couldn't pull it out.
And they leave it in the account to collect interest because these guys
Yeah,
accrue interest on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
yeah. That now it is against PayPal's TOS to get money for lewd shit. So maybe it's that. Like I don't know, but the
Well,
idea of
having dealt with
holding
a
people's money is something that a bank wouldn't do. Like if
yeah,
you
if
get
if like if unless a bank has a confiscation notice and they have to have it like a subpoena for that kind of stuff, right?
yeah,
The bank doesn't want to do business with you. Like if you run afoul of its terms, it will just liquidate the money and get it transferred out as quickly as possible generally. But like the idea of PayPal being able to hold your money, even if it's in dispute, just for reasons, right? Because I mean, it's happened to me before, and I don't even like do any art online or anything. Where just because I received a payment suddenly from one of my clients, all of a sudden like
oh,
PayPal
that
just says,
happens to
"Oh, I don't."
streamers. That happens to streamers all
Yeah,
the fuck. Well, it used to. Now it's not as much. But like in the beginning, you had people with Streamlabs, and
yeah. Streamlabs was a whole other thing.
yeah, they would get like a donation, maybe from like a country or maybe from like a person or I don't know why the fuck, but like it would get flagged, and your entire PayPal would just be shut down. And the thing is, like, as I mentioned before, like furry artists, there were furry artists saying, "Look, I never did that safe for work. Like, I just drew people for soda. I just drew the shit, and now I'm having my entire PayPal account locked down, and there's no recourse. Like, you can't have it's very difficult to get a person on the line. It's very
Yeah,
difficult to have like an appeal. It's incredibly difficult to like show your evidence. So like once they make the decision, even if they did it in a wrong way, it's very difficult to undo it.
yeah. There's not a lot of recourse, right? Let's say you have a disagreement with an actual major business. You can usually, and I'm speaking in Canadian terms here, right? But like lots of major services here in Canada have an ombudsman you can call, right? So and usually they take it seriously if you get that group involved. Doesn't necessarily exist everywhere, but there's no checks and balances with PayPal, right? They investigate themselves and will find themselves, innocent of all charges.
Yeah, so sometimes they will revert the decision, but like you're going like 2 maybe 3 months with no money. Maybe like a lot of these people were having around like $2,000 stock in their account, and $2,000 back then is like 3 or 4
Hmm.
now. So
Yeah, I mean, by the inflation.
it's really bad, man. It's just, ugh.
Hmm. I don't know, man. These companies get away with a lot. We really get an idea of who has the power at the end of the day.
The interesting takes is people saying it's like, oh, why don't they just make another credit card, or why don't they just make crypto?
Oh,
And it's like,
baby, how difficult it is to get the
yeah,
approvals and everything.
I'll tell people this, right?
Yeah,
For the last couple of decades, we had Visa and Mastercard having 80% of the entire market. Do you
yep.
not think that during this time, someone with money came up and said, you know what, I want to make a credit card too? Do you not think that they tried? Like, there's a reason why you can't.
Yeah.
Um,
Even Elon Musk can't make a new PayPal, right?
I mean, he was
The
trying,
approvals.
right? He was
He
trying
well,
a lot.
he's tried multiple times over the years, but the approvals can't be done anymore. There's a market capture that happened on the credit card and online payment processing systems,
I wonder if Trump
right?
will change that. That would be so fucking funny.
Well, part of the stuff that he proposed once he got elected does state that he wants to make adjustments to this, but what will actually come through legislation wise is a whole other question.
I wonder because he wants to make XPay, right? Like he wants to make it like in China, where you have like the
Yeah,
WeChat,
yeah,
and you
you
can
can put
pay through
everything through WeChat
you
over
can
there.
put
Yeah.
through WeChat, right? So he wants to make that with Twitter, and if he actually gets in government, well, not in government, but like in a position where he can slash government regulations, I'm pretty sure he will slash those, which will have like interesting consequences. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it's healthy for the market to have only two credit cards. Because
No,
as
well, we have Visa, Mastercard, Amex, Discover. Those are the four ones that bounce around, plus the extra local ones that we see pop up, like Lawson and shit, that still
Mhm.
use a lot of the backbone that Visa and Mastercard created.
Yeah,
But the big four have that regulatory capture, and they're not going to let anyone start hip checking their way in.
yeah. No, I think like in a perfect world there would be like 20 or 25 cards, you know.
Yeah, that would be ideal for us as consumers, because then we wouldn't all be stuck with like 17 to 24% APR rates. Piece
Yeah,
of shit.
yeah. All right,
It
let's
would
see
be
what
competition, man.
uh, let's see what else we got cuz it hasn't been like a very exciting week, but there was a girl that took 100 dicks.
Yeah, she wanted to sleep with like 100, 1,000 or something like that, right? And she completely broke down. Was that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
She
this
she couldn't uphold her thoughtness.
I actually looked at the TikTok videos, and there was a video that came out which was very interesting. So, like, apparently, this guy found out that his wife or his girlfriend, I forgot exactly, slept with like 20 guys, and he went online on ChatGPT, measured the average size of a penis, measured how many thrusts does it take. Listen, listen. How many thrusts does it take in a regular intercourse, like in the average intercourse? And then he was driving the car, and he was like, "This is the
Yeah,
amount of dicks my wife took." Like he
yeah.
was
This
actually
is
driving the car, and it's like they stretch out for miles, right? Like if you put
dick
one dick next to another, it's like how.
dick by the square foot.
The thing that I like is how horrified everyone is of the girl that took 100 dicks, and I'm like, dude, how often does it happen though? Like it's a fucking outlier, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
it's for publicity.
I get why people are upset, but like I'm happy that she's a negative example, because now if I have a daughter and she's like, why shouldn't I do this? I would just show her that girl and show her how she's crying, and it's like, look what she did to herself. Like everyone
Yeah.
consented, everyone was fine, and look how she's feeling. Do you want to be like that? Do you want to feel like that? Do you want your friends to know that you're the one that took 100 dicks? You know, and like seriously, like she is a really amazing example for the next generation. It's like, look, if you do this, you'll end up like her, and
Yep.
that's
This is proof in the pudding, man, right there.
yeah. Apparently, she was crying, and I was saying, and I was putting it in a way to
Well, I mean, what did
be.
she expect?
I
A
don't know.
thousand dicks.
I don't know that 100 though. She was very happy and excited when it happened, but afterwards she looked like a soldier that had PTSD, and I was like, well, in order to put it in a way that YouTube TOS would allow it, she abused herself. Like literally,
Hmm.
she consented, everyone consented, but she abused herself, and she found that afterwards. And it's like, well, there you go. See, this is why we not just we as a society, but every society throughout the world, throughout every time period, views that women shouldn't do this, and it's not just to oppress women; it's also to protect women.
Well, I mean, look what it does to your self-image,
Yeah,
right? The damage is done.
yeah.
Will she even be able to respect herself anymore, knowing that she's done this for literal publicity?
I don't know, but
Time will tell.
apparently she's a millionaire now, so her kids will do great, right? I mean, they can go through college.
Well, I
Million
mean,
dollars.
her kids can even go through college or break their leg. One way it'll pay one or the other.
Well, if they break their leg, they will be able to afford health insurance, no matter the size now. I mean, $1
Yeah, but the
million dollars.
copay, V, the copay.
Yeah. SRC Maker, thank you for the $10. She literally fucked around and found out. You know what? I can't debunk that. That is
Nope,
correct. Yes, she
that's
fucked around and found out.
that is more than technically correct.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. Now she wants to go for 1,000, but it's like, look, put yourself in her shoes. Like, what can you do besides double down now? And if you took
Yeah.
100, what's 1,000? Apparently, she found out in an interview. Asmongold reacted to it. She didn't know that if you take a bukkake, you can contract HIV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess someone didn't make it through high school biology.
Did they teach you that in high school biology? Because I thought it's just common sense. I thought like this is something you pick up along the way. Like it doesn't require like a school education.
I mean, you would imagine anyone that's gone through sex ed would know. I mean,
Oh no,
it's not
you
like these
guys
things
have
come up in
sex ed,
regular
yeah.
conversation, right?
Yeah, you guys have sex ed. We don't
Yeah.
have it. I didn't do sex ed. We did
Yeah, but I mean,
banana
even if
initially.
even if the student doesn't go through it, like if you have a parent that's got more than just two brain cells in between your ears, your parent's gonna have the talk with you at one point or another.
Yeah.
You'd think that some of this stuff would become obvious, right?
Oh god, I'll need to have the talk at some point, won't I?
Yeah, your daughter's gonna need to have the
Well,
talk
I
someday.
have a son, but it's going to be cringe, isn't it?
Oh, your son? Oh my God!
Yeah.
All right.
How do you do it though? Like not to make it cringe. Do you put music while doing it? It's like sit down,
No,
son.
no music, dude.
No music.
And given what I've seen, you will know when it's time because obviously your son will have an encounter or an event where it'll
Or the
become
crusty
obvious that
sock, or yeah.
he's old enough, and then you just say, hey, look, since you're going in that direction, let's talk about how to manage this stuff, right? And start and
But
let's talk about
dad,
not getting screwed. Yeah,
but dad, can we not?
it's
Oh,
cringe.
cringe. They'll probably have a
Yeah.
different word for it.
Well, cringe
It's
now saves
gay.
you like a little bit of cringe now saves you a lifetime of itches and pills, man.
Oh god. Her mother helped organize the 100 guys.
Really?
Well, I mean, there is a logistical effort in this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You can't just call 100 guys and not have like some sort of system. Then why are you laughing? It's true. Like think
it's
about it from
true.
the
I
yeah.
mean,
Like if you're
I mean,
hired to
it's 100
organize
people.
this.
There's gonna be a line.
Yeah. And what you know what I would do? I would think ahead. I would call 150 guys because like what if from the 100 guys I called, some don't show up, right? So you need backups.
Have you thought about this, V?
Of
Like
course I thought about it. Like how can you not?
I
It's
mean,
a,
you're right. It would
no,
take
like
some. I mean, it's a big event. You're streaming it and
yeah,
everything. You'd think some logistics was
you
involved in
don't
the
want it to
process.
go wrong because like you're trying to break records here, right? So like the Guinness World Book needs to have the proper documentation, and so you need a proper studio with lighting, seamless recording, right? You don't want any jump cuts so that people accuse you of cheating.
Yep.
Uh,
Backup internet connection for the stream. Everything.
yeah, you want the time and date, and then you want another room. You want a room where the guys are waiting. Maybe give them some magazines or something, and serve them with proper hydration, like liquids and stuff.
Hydration and electrolytes.
Yeah. No, why are you laughing? It's true.
I
And then you
know.
need
I'm laughing because it's fucking absurd, dude.
yeah, and then you need two people, one in the room and one out the room, and be like next, right?
I mean, it would be the same thing as like basically what they would have to do to get ready for like I don't know, like a JAV video or something like that. Like
Yeah,
there would be an entire operation around it. We're talking
yeah.
100 people, man.
Yeah, and the studio lighting and shit, and you need them to like perform under pressure because like when you're the guy going in, you're not alone with the girl. Like there's other people there filming, right? So like you
That's
need to,
right.
yeah,
Like you have an audience, dude. Your
yeah,
performance is being judged.
yeah, and she gets a lot of protein. That, the thing that I wonder though, someone asked, it's like, how would the guy do with 100 women? And I said like I don't think that's biologically possible though.
Yeah, I mean, the man who can do even like 50 women in one day is either a man on a lot of drugs or he's a complete freak in nature. Because just imagine the refactor time.
Like
God damn.
let's assume like you don't orgasm, right?
Yeah.
Keeping a boner long enough for 100 women would probably be incredibly difficult.
Man.
Like you'd pass out.
Man, that shit would hurt.
Yeah.
God, I wouldn't even want to think about that
Even with
anymore.
Viagra, no, even with Viagra, I don't think you can keep an erection.
That's right, and the bad Viagra reactions too. Like especially way back in the day. Maybe I mean I'm old enough to remember it. I don't know if you were, but like when Cialis and Viagra first came out, there were some like in the first batches of that stuff. There were some people that had some really bad reactions, and like it it got pretty wild.
People are saying it's possible.
It is.
No, it's possible to fuck 100 women in 24 hours.
in 24 hours.
Well, that's what she did. She took 100 cocks in 24 hours. So like,
Yeah, but I mean, from the feminine perspective, it's a lot less difficult, right? Like we're talking about one man doing the opposite, like doing the inverse. I don't know, man. That would
yeah,
seem really
I
implausible
don't
for
think
me.
it's biologically possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think.
because you would take, I mean, what, 5 minutes to 15 minutes in between. Anyway, we're thinking about this way too much, V. You
No,
know?
like it's interesting because like hold on, like she had sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I guess.
She had sleep deprivation. You can't go to bed, right? Like it's 100 dudes, so
24 hours. Divide for every hour, you would have to have at least 4 people.
at least 4 people. Yeah.
Damn, that's a busy day, V.
No, a lot of people are judging her, but they don't understand the logistic involved, the work of the people that were the auxiliary, and not to mention how difficult this challenge was.
Yeah, it was a freak show, right? It's made for the spectacle.
But for the
Right? It's the
spectacle, yeah,
absurdity of it all.
it's not what people are saying. It's oh well, anyone can know. Like it takes a special type of talent.
It takes preparation, like getting ready for the Boston
Yeah,
Marathon.
if you are transformed in a woman, I guarantee to you, you wouldn't be able to do it. Anyway, right. ABC News. George Stephanopoulos is on the lab.
Oh boy.
He's on the lab.
On the lam?
Yeah, he's running away.
For what?
He he lost the lawsuit with Donald Trump. He's got to pay $15 million.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No way. I love it.
No, he closed his Twitter account and no one can reach him. They don't know where he is.
No way.
Oh, I'll show you. Here we go.
There is no way.
I think it's true. Like I haven't fact checked it. I just woke up.
No, you I'm looking it up now. You're absolutely right. Like there's no doubt on it. But that's
It's
I mean,
wild.
I hate Stephanopoulos. I hate the guy.
So ABC News, George Stephanopoulos is on the run, is on the lab, and
On the land.
of the law.
Oh, I truly hope this is true. Couldn't have happened to a better person.
The thing is, like, I watched the segment and he was saying it with such certainty. Apparently, he was calling him a Trump a rapist and something.
Yeah.
And so it's astonishing because like the media in the United States is covered even more than the average person against libel and slander.
That's right.
Like if you're in the media, you gotta be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are also malicious. Like you knew the reality, but you chose not to share it, right?
And
so,
it's a big ticket settlement as well, so it would have to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt with malicious intent, and that they were presented with information to the contrary and they choose to let the information remain online. So that means he got thunderfucked.
He got thunderfucked and now he's on the left.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like I said, couldn't have happened to a better person. I needed this on this Sunday.
Do you know
damn.
like I honestly think if he was to personally apologize to Trump and work out the deal, he would probably get something.
Yeah. If he would bend the knee,
Yeah,
right? If
I
he would
think
bend
Trump
the knee,
is
it
the
would be
type
over
of
in a
person,
second.
yeah, especially now that it's like with the religious and shit, it's like God saved him from the bullet and blah blah blah. If you actually talk to Trump and it's like, look, Mr. President, I fucked up majorly. I don't have the money to pay $50 million. I will do anything, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Anything.
You can just even butter it up. It's like, yeah, the boss told me I had to.
Yeah,
put
the
it
boss
this way.
told
it
me I was
wasn't
just following
personal.
orders.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't take much, right? Trump wants to be given his respect, and generally he leave people the fuck alone if they stay out of his business.
Yeah, like it doesn't need $50 million.
Yeah, right.
And probably
like
he can't get them either if he's running
yeah,
away.
if like it's not like Stephanopoulos had defamation insurance, right?
No.
So it's not. I mean, does he even have 15 million to liquidate? It's not
don't
like
think
Trump's
so.
gonna see a cent of that shit.
Hold on, let me check what his net worth is, because we can find that out, right? So what is Stephanopoulos' net worth?
Yeah. Net worth, and then assume 25% of that would be liquid, at best, right?
No. Hold on. So the deal will net Stephanopoulos more than 65 million, working out to roughly 50 to 18 million per year. So yeah,
Wow.
maybe
He's got. I mean, remember when they say like 18 million per year, that's not necessarily cash. It could be deferred stock.
But
It could be
it's not.
commissaries
Yeah,
in there.
like you don't have
But
to pay
still,
it all at
he's got the
once.
net worth for it,
Yeah,
so he's on the
you don't have to
lam.
pay it all at once. You can loan the money and make a payment plan. It's like
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. You make arrangements with the court to
yeah,
avoid the lien as
yeah,
they would put on him.
yeah.
Stephanopoulos getting his ass handed to him in court. That's a good Sunday.
Yeah, you didn't expect that by the end of the year, eh?
I did not. I did not at all. I wasn't following the lawsuit whatsoever. I was expecting it to be a complete nothing burger.
Did you know that now journalists are going to sit around the campfire telling horror stories? Like, have you heard the story of the man called Stephanopoulos?
Yeah.
He went against the
He
sitting
spoke
president.
the words, and he was raked over the coals. or in this case here, it wasn't even getting raked over the coals. Like he said the words, and then he stepped on a rake, and then he turned around and he stepped on another rake, and then he turned around and he stepped on another rake. Like that's really what happened to this guy.
That day, the prompter was cursed. Midwest Finest, thank you for the $5. As someone who honestly haven't been with 10 women, I don't know. I should be disgusted or a little jealous. I think if you were with 100 women, it would be like a blur. Like you like after women.
Yeah, it would all blend in one into the other at that point, because like you're on a cocaine binge for sure.
American Outlier, thank you for the $5. Hi, Ors and V. I hope you're doing well. I think Greg was the issue. The money to a charity. What was to issue the money to a charity of Trump's choosing? See?
That's the base. It's even better, man. Now he's just on the lam for it.
Doesn't even need the money. Like, fuck your dirty money. Made it with the media.
Yeah, if that's the case, Outlier, that's double dirty. Fuck that guy.
He'll probably have to give them to the veterans or some shit.
Yeah, veterans or like Cancer Society or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was like what else happened? Oh yeah, the video game awards. The video game awards happened.
Oh yeah, that was some sneaky shit there.
Did you see it?
Yeah, well, I saw part of it. I was watching on the Moist Critical stream, so.
Really, you watch Moist Criticals?
At times, I like watching Apex esports, and he's got a really good team. So I like the skill show. I don't particularly like what is it, Penguin Zero or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of this stuff is fucking hilarious. But at the end of the day, like game content is pretty slick.
Hello guys. Today we're going
to watch some
video games.
He's a little, I would say, penguin slow. Yeah.
It's got the awards coming up, and it's in the culture war right now. Like some people don't like ESG games, but I don't know.
I don't know what to think about that.
People are exaggerating about this. Like I can see both sides of the issue.
Yeah, I can see both sides of the issue. Wukong deserved fucking game of the year, and it got hosed. That's what.
My origin story. When Mundane Matt got pushed off the internet, I thought that someone should take his place. Not through the delivery, no. Just like the way they present the content, where I don't take a side on anything. I just tell you both things, and I tell you if something is super bad or gross, and.
Okay, V. Okay.
Yeah, I'm making fun of someone else's voice. I know. And so, China fucking dominated. Like, okay, we got Wukong sweeping up everything. We got Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2 is made in China. Well, not made in China, but it's owned by China.
Well, I mean, Grinding Gear was owned by China a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Marvels on Steam, also China.
Well, Marvel's on Steam doing a hell of a job raking in all the money. It's the only profitable Marvel IP in what, God, 7 years now?
And so I was like actually concerned over this because I was explaining to people, it's like, look, this is not sustainable. Like the Western AAA shit is doing its best to destroy itself. And so you're going to have your kids playing Chinese games. Now, the Chinese games, they don't seem to do much besides harvest your data, which is what Sony does and every other AAA company normalized.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to convince people, hey, like the Chinese are harvesting your data, because like every company does it, right? So like people will be like, well, okay, so you want Sony to harvest my data? But the thing,
Yeah, and it's not like a bunch of my friends are always like, oh, well, it's the thing they put on your PC, right? Like the kernel level anti cheat it comes up very often from a gamer's perspective, and I can understand it from a security standpoint.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, if you want to talk about like rootkits and kernel level stuff, look at what Sony did.
yeah,
It's
Sony
not
is like
like
really fucked
Sony
up.
has fucked consumers just as many times as and in ways a hell of a lot more egregious than what we've seen from China. And I'm using the term very very strongly here so far. Like we don't know everything that's happened, but like it's not like Sony as an is a good example, right?
No, but like
Because
look at look
they've
at what
fucked up people with rootkits before and everything.
yeah, look what AAA companies are doing. Because I was reading the news this year and I was horrified. I was like, how the fuck do they keep getting away with this shit? Like
Yeah.
Sony is like, okay, we're going to monitor all audio conversations in all our games for hate speech, and we're going to use it to train out AI. So like, if you're playing with your friends, your voice is recorded and is now property of Sony. It's like, how the fuck do they get away with
Dude,
that?
it's even bigger than that.
Hmm.
Their end user license agreement states that it includes in audio that was recorded in the background of your microphone as well. So
Well,
you
yeah, I
don't
mean
even
they
have
can't
to be
filter
the
it out,
person
right?
that says it. It could just be a TV show in the background, like you got someone in the background playing The Wire or whatever, and they say the wrong damn word, and the AI takes it out of context.
Yeah, and so it's not only that. Ubisoft announced, and they're proud of this. Like, this is not something that they're doing behind closed doors. They announced they will call the cops on their customers. So, like, if
Hmm.
you're playing a video game and you're in the UK and you say hate speech against Keir Starmer or some shit, they will call the cops on you.
Yep. Oh, I got two things for you.
Uh,
First one, right? Speaking of Tencent, right? Because Jacob Andrew in your chat just put in something about Tencent, but
I thank you
get
for the
what Tencent.
$25, Jacob. Did you see that the content creator presented the Game Awards? The one that helps people find jobs in gaming is a Tencent director.
Yep, and not only just a Tencent director, he's a director of acquisitions.
Mm.
He's legit one of the people who is responsible for like throat slitting a bunch of the companies that we used to see putting out good content. But not only that, Tencent has recently gone through because like Tencent owns Riot Games pretty much lock, stock, and barrel, right? They've recently updated Riot Games EULA to include that they can now close your account for shit you say outside of League of Legends and their platform and so on and so
Do,
forth.
do you know who
So,
normalized that?
I don't know.
Blizzard, Overwatch.
Yes,
They,
that's
they, they,
true.
they
Yeah,
actually
they were
had
doing that.
Kaplan. Yeah, they had Kaplan being proud of this. It's like we're proactively banning people, so we're not reactive banning. We're proactively banning.
Yeah.
Twitch does that. So again, the only like here's the thing: when Xbox One came out and it had like spyware and shit installed, everyone
Hmm.
was against it to the point where Microsoft had to drop the platform, and they changed a lot of things. But
Yep.
then people started normalizing the spyware shit. Then people started normalizing this behavior that you're talking about.
Yeah. Connect in your living room, buddy.
And so, yeah, and so now no one cares because it's already being done. I don't have an argument. I can't tell people, hey, don't install this because it's bad for you. I can't really tell them because they will tell me, it's like, what do you mean? Like all the other things do the same, right? And so, yeah, I don't want China to be that popular, but like, there's nothing I can do to stop it. Like, what can I tell people? Hey, don't play Wukong, and they're like, well, it's a good game. It's like, yeah, but don't play Wukong. It's like, yeah, but there's nothing else to play. Everything is shit.
Yeah.
And so, like there's no argument there. And the main problem is like I looked at how they're actually pushing propaganda because I was expecting, like the games to glorify communism or China. They don't do that, right? It's not like in the West where they're glorifying like various woke ideologies. No, like what China does is like really a wholesome game that you want to play. And just over time, just like weebs, they like Japan, even though they don't visit Japan, even though they know the culture of Japan, they don't learn the language, but they have like an affection towards Japan. People who will grow up playing Chinese games will have an affection towards China. And so when you have a politician that will say something negative about China, you're going to have your kids going like, hold on a little bit. Like, my shirt is from China, my phone is from China, my desk is from China, and the video games that I play are from China. Why the fuck are you talking against China? Like, what
Yeah, cultural sensitivity by exposure.
Like, imagine if some politician talks shit about Japan now. Like, how would people feel?
We can already see the way people go rabid just with K-pop.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth, right? We see that the normalization of cultural items as personal identities will cause people to go completely fucking ballistic the moment anything goes against it.
Yeah.
Especially if they have nothing else to identify with.
Oh, Patreon started that shit with the manifest observable behavior. So if you do something off platform that has nothing to do with what you're collecting money for or Patreon for, they will.
Yeah, the platform ethics clause. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like really arbitrary as well. Like there were people
very arbitrary. Yeah.
Yeah, like there were people convicted and put on a sex registry. Like the judge and jury found the defendant guilty, and they still had their Patreon up.
Yep.
Right. So it's like they were the first, and it's a well, not a banking system, but like it's a financial system, and so it's very difficult to now say, well, yeah, look what League of Legends is doing. It's like, well, I guess, I mean, but it doesn't shock people.
It's another example of our rights as people and consumers basically getting slipped away again.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't like where the future is going, but there's nothing I can do to stop it. So.
No, it has gained a momentum that is beyond, just the normal 1 and 2 persons that can take care of it. It would take a consistent and a long period of profit drought to really cause this to change over. And if one thing we do know for sure is Tencent has deep pockets.
But yeah. Anyway, I understand you gotta go, so thank you
for
co-hosting.
Yes, it is time.
My
pleasure, V. My pleasure, chat. Hope you all take care.
I'll be sitting with the chat a little bit, so thank you for being here.
All right. Speak to you all next week.
All right. I'm still here. He had to go because he's got a D&D game every Sunday, and so he gotta make it on time, and he can only stay for 1 hour. Truth be told, though, like there's not that much news left that I can think of, because I actually did manage to go through everything. I was afraid that we'll not have enough time, because I woke up and I realized it's almost 10 minutes until stream. Let's see, what else is there? There's like a lot of controversy right now between AAA aesthetics and the aesthetics of China, and I think like I could just show you one example so you know where we're at, right? Give me just 1 second so I can find the picture, because this is like jarring when you see it. Now, one of the reasons a lot of people don't understand just how bad the AAA industry is right now is because of the slow boiling of the frog thing, right? But I just want you to see why there is no competition. So this is China's interpretation of Squirrel Girl, right? Like this is on the Steam game. And as you can see, like she's not pornographic, like she's not Stellar Blade from Eve. But she does look good. Like she looks like a fit young woman. They have like this squirrel on her shoulder that's cute, right? Like they go with a lot of cuteness. Like her face is cute. It's basically like the type of character that you would like hanging around with, right? Like it's an actual superhero, big physical condition. Like she doesn't look angry. She doesn't look anything like that. Now let's look at the Squirrel Girl that's done by the actual Marvel team, right? And so the difference is beyond jarring. I mean, look, I get it. This is a video game, right? So like you're not going to have the same level of detail, but I've seen her on the cover, right? They made her look as if she has Down syndrome. Like this is done on purpose. All the characters behind, they're gender ambiguous. Like, is this a man or a woman? I don't fucking know, and that's the point, right? Like, you don't know. Even the squirrel itself, look how bad it looks compared to like the cute squirrel that they have here. Like it is done specifically to. I guess like their ideology is that people like Marvel, so anything they do, people will like it, and you're going to start liking this basically, right? Like you're going to look at this and you're going to like it just because it's Marvel. But in reality, it's the other way around. Like people started hating Marvel due to this, and this is everywhere. Now, another thing is like people say, well, yeah, but they have to do DEI shit. And it's like, well, hold on a little bit, right? Like the DEI stuff, because I actually looked into this and I was like, okay, what is it required to be DEI compliant? And nowhere does it say that you need to draw the characters in a retarded fashion. Nowhere does it say that you need to actually make these characters ugly, right? Like if you look at ESG and DEI, it does require you to have like diversity. It's like, okay, you got a black character here, and you can add like some elderly woman or something like that, and then you can have like different genders, and you need a gay character. But like nowhere does it say that the art itself has to look retarded, right? Like this is them doing it to themselves. What the fuck is this guy doing? Why is he having like two cups? He's got like two cups, and how is he holding this cup? Is this, Jesus Christ, look how they draw the fingers. Like if I was seeing this, I would say it's AI art. God, this is so fucking bad. Holy shit, Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. Ready Terror, thank you for the $5. V is male here. Also, I'll support China and Korea since everyone is censoring. Oh my goodness. I don't even support them, right? Like, the thing is, like, people who watch my channel, they know that I play games that are good. Like, I don't even care if it's a woke game. Like, if it's a legit good game, I will probably play it. But the problem is, woke games, like, they're not good. And so, everything on the market is bad. Like, the only games that I actually like right now is Path of Exile 2. So, like, what do? Do I not play Path of Exile 2? Like, okay, well, what else am I supposed to play? There's fucking nothing. There's nothing that I like. And so, it is what it is. But by the way, like, a fun fact, there's controversy right now that the Game of the Year award has been rigged. And I kind of believe that it was. There's no fucking way Astrobot is better than Wukong. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but I've seen both games. There's no way you can say Astrobot is better. Keeping absolute personal control is why the banking system and all businesses are dying to eliminate cash. Yes. Yes, you're absolutely correct. AI can make some legit good art with a couple of hiccups here and there. First, they kick out talent and hire on quotas. Secondly, talentless people try to do everything in the corporate style as quick and easy and cheap as possible. Yeah, you're right. But like, you can still have like quality control, man. You can still, and not to mention, here's another thing. Why did Marvel, a major, massive company, a behemoth of American culture, why did they need ESG funding? Why did they have to take it? This is what I don't get. I understand like a smaller company. I understand like something else. It's a fucking Marvel. They could have petitioned the government to get a tax cut. Seriously though, like it's Marvel. It was like an American icon. Like everyone knows what Marvel is. Now I'll tell you something else. Like a lot of people blame it on ESG, but the reality is like before ESG, you had feminism. And what feminism did is like it would accuse various CEOs, and almost like 90% of these accusations were proven false, or they didn't stand in court. And you'd have like a woman just go around, hang with the CEO, someone else would take a picture, and then the woman would claim that she was being molested or something. And so, or that she was told inappropriate jokes, because like the peak of the moral outrage was that even sexist jokes or inappropriate comments were enough to warrant someone getting fired. And so like what they would do, and this is like how they actually got Marvel. They went through the community places where people were talking about Marvel. So like they went to Reddit, they went to sub forums, they went to every place where people were discussing these comic books. They went to the media. And first they infested these places with social justice activists. Right? At first they got moderators on Reddit to be on behalf of like social justice. They got journalists that were social justice friendly. And then they went after the leadership in Marvel, right? So like then they created the scandal. Oh look, we unearthed a tweet that the CEO was saying. Oh, like some woman came up with some bizarre allegation. And now the journalists, Reddit, and everyone was attacking the Marvel CEO and demanding that he steps down. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I am. I think I'm really close with this. Because this was happening like 10 years ago, so my memory isn't really that fresh. But there was a scandal in which one of the people associated with Marvel donated money to the Trump campaign. And so all of a sudden, Reddit, the media, everyone was demanding that this guy gets fired, right? So basically what happens when the guy gets fired? Well, they will put someone sympathetic to the cause in his stead. Like, the people in charge would be like, okay, well, the complaint is coming from the left. Let's put a leftist in charge, because then they will shut the fuck up, right? And once you put the leftist in charge, he starts fighting the talent, he starts fighting the people that can do shit, and you get like the artists that draw like this. Right? Which, you know, like drawing like this is an art style, don't get me wrong. And I know why they're doing it, because it's fucking cheap. I mean, look, there's no background. There's no background. It's just like yellow and black. And like for an indie comic, this would be acceptable. But it's fucking Marvel. Like, come on, it's Marvel, right? If Marvel can't draw a proper comic, look at manga. There's fucking independent manga that has backgrounds. I'll give them that, you know, manga doesn't color. Which, whatever, you know. But at this point, just don't color. If you're drawing art like this, just don't color and have some backgrounds. Like, I would rather have backgrounds than not have coloring. DC was way better. I got it. I agree with this. I never liked Marvel that much. I like the X-Men, I guess. But, like, besides the X-Men and Spider-Man. But besides that, I do think that DC was a lot better. This image actually gets more nightmarish. Oh, it's even worse. You've no fucking idea. This is just something that I had handy, but if I would have a library of all the Marvel pages I talked about it would be like me getting you across a campfire and telling you horror stories. A guy on the C++ standard committee was ejected because he ended the title of one of his improvements with the word question. I heard that. Now, here's the thing, right? They don't really care. Like they're not really upset about it, because the issue is not the issue. The reality is they always wanted to fire the guy, and they were looking for a reason. And so they now have to pretend that the guy using the question thing is like the worst thing committed. And so they're going to fire his ass. What's the equivalent of Punisher in DC? I don't think they have one. Yeah, DC doesn't really do the whole murder thing. I mean, Marvel has like a lot of psychopaths and serial killers. But like someone that shoots people with a gun. Well, actually, one of the Batman families does that. Red Hood or something, or used to before they toned him down. Yeah, I think Red Hood is yeah. Yeah, and you also have like some versions of Batman that do it in alternative universes, but like I don't think it counts because like they don't have like their own comic book. I'm actually trying to think if there's like, oh, you know, you do have a Deathstroke, right? Is it Deathstroke like the Punisher? But I guess like he's got like a different motive, like he's a mercenary. I know. One of the Batman villains, the immortal one, the one that has like the Legion. Whatever. I forgot his name. I haven't read comics in ages. You can see because I mean, there's nothing to read. The last one that I read was Injustice. Anyway, my baby is crying. I need to figure out what's going on. And so, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the super chats, and I'll see you next week. Take care.